Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. There's been a couple times that Maitreya tried to give me a lesson on detachment. And the way that he did it was he had to make something disappear and then reappear again in order for me to get the point. The first time that I remember was when I was doing radio interviews back, wow, it's been over 20 years now since I've done this, but I used to call radio stations in all the different states and try to get interviews on some AM stations and some FM stations, but mainly the AM stations in each state. And I had a little map that I put little push pins in to keep track of which states I called so I didn't double track and call them by mistake again. And then if I got an interview, I'd put a little flag in it to remind me that I got a interview in that state. And then I started kind of calculating and seeing which states I did best in, or if I got an interview in that state or not. And I kind of did the percentages of it. And the whole time I was doing this. Now, I'm going to stop myself for a second before I go too long. But there's a video I put up where I talk about this, and it's in my Maitreya experience playlist. So if you're interested in hearing more about this story, you can hear more about it in detail. But to summarize it, the thought kept crossing my mind to not be attached to the results of doing these interviews and getting an interview in a state and just go through the motions and go through the process of trying to share this information. And he eventually made these pins disappear and then reappear again. Now, the second time I remember was, it's been over 10 years or so, I think, since this happened. But I had problems with some critters in my crawl space. And I'm using the word critter in a very politically correct way, But I live in a townhome unit. And so in order for me to truly keep them out, all my neighbors kind of had to be on the same page of things. And they didn't really do as much as I was doing at the time. So I had to go to Home Depot and get this metal mesh. It looked kind of like a smaller version of chicken wire, if you're familiar with what that looks like. But it's small enough gaps between the wire to keep them from pulling on insulation. That was my whole intention of it, is I was going to put this all around the insulation in my crawl space to keep them from making a little nest. And so I took a staple gun down there, and I had this old pair of scissors that I would use to cut and that's an important part of the story, the old pair of scissors. But anyway, I was cutting this metal mesh with these old pair of scissors, and then I would kind of staple it up against the insulation so that they wouldn't be able to make a nest out of the insulation to keep warm at night. And then I'd find little gaps in the corner or in between the two units, and I would use it to kind of plug up those holes in a way. And it definitely worked, because I haven't seen any real evidence of them since. But I started hearing a noise in my attic, so I had to do the same thing in my attic upstairs. And my attic is kind of a two-tier attic. So the main part of my attic over my now daughter's bedroom is where I keep my Christmas tree and Christmas decorations and all the junk and stuff like that. And then above the master bedroom, it goes up about, 4.5 or 5 feet, and then it's over the master bedroom. And so I had plugged up all the areas that I could see in the main part of my attic with this metal mesh and these old pair of scissors and the staple gun. And I kind of go around and kind of staple this corner, and I see a hole right there, let me staple that kind of thing. And then I jumped up above my bedroom, and I started looking for areas where they could be coming in through, over the bedroom. And the one area that I was cutting these, filling up the holes was a metal exhaust pipe that went from the hot water heater downstairs all the way up. So it would, go outside, but it has to run through the whole attic or the whole house and then go run through the attic and out that way. So I put it around there to kind of keep these critters from running up and down kind of thing. So I did that. And then I started looking for some other areas above my bedroom, and I'm stepping on these cross beams, and this thought crosses my mind. It says, Gary, don't worry about it. If they're not in your house, coming into the house, it's okay. Just, you've already done enough. Don't worry about it. And I kept kind of stepping around looking for stuff, and it said that thought kind of calmed me down from being getting too freaked out about these critters. I said, don't worry about it. They're not in your house. You've done what you needed to do. Don't worry about it. But if you keep going, you're going to hurt yourself. I was going to slip or something like this and fall through the ceiling or something, really seriously hurt myself. And then this kind of warning kept kind of coming through my mind, like, if you keep doing this, you're going to really hurt yourself. And then again, there would be a calming kind of feeling like, you've done enough. Don't worry. They're not in your house, that kind of stuff. And I ignored it for a little bit. I don't know how many minutes I did. It was just a few minutes. And I found a spot that I was gonna use this metal mesh for. And I reached in my shorts. I had some cargo shorts on, which had, the two pockets on the, on the leg portion of your thing. That's where I kept my scissors. And I reached in there to cut the metal mesh, and my scissors were gone. And I'm looking around, and I stuck my hand in all my pockets, because you had the two on the side by the leg, and then the two front pockets, where you put your keys or whatever, and then the two back pockets. I even looked in my back pockets. I took all the pockets and I turned them inside out even. I was like, where's these scissors? And I wasn't thinking anything about Maitreya or anything. It was just, I kept thinking about, like, where are these scissors? And I even looked around where I was standing, over my bedroom in my attic, and looked in some of the insulation. Maybe I dropped it in there, couldn't find it. Again, went back into my pockets. I did it several times. I don't know how many times, but I did it more than 2 or 3 times. I know that. I was like, they got to be here somewhere. Finally, I was like, okay, I guess I got to stop. I don't know what happened. I thought I'd dropped it into the insulation and lost it. And so I jumped down off my bedroom, and then I close the attic up, and I go downstairs to the bathroom to wash my hands and kind of get cleaned up. And then again, nothing. I'm feeling, on my shorts, I'm squeezing my pockets as I'm walking down. I'm sorry, before I go to get cleaned up. And then I wash my hands, and I start thinking about that calming feeling. You said, they're not in your house. Don't worry about it. You've done what you needed to do. And I took a step toward the bathroom door as I turned the light off, and I felt something in my pocket, and right in one of the pockets that I had just turned inside out 5, 6, 7 times trying to find these things were these pair of scissors. And Maitreya had made that disappear and reappear so that I would get out of my attic, because I think I was probably going to hurt myself. So thank you for letting me share that. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.